On in the show, the Chief Executive of the Essendon Football Club is pivotal in all this, Xavier Campbell, and he's been kind enough to join us. You heard about Xavier's role a little earlier in the show from Sam McClure. As we welcome you in, Xavier, this is the biggest financial fight in the game's history, and you're at the centre of it.
Well, I think obviously all 18 clubs in the AFL are at the centre of it. It's a significant challenge for us, unprecedented. It's incredibly complex. But we will get through it, and we will get through it because we'll do it together. We're a united industry. The clubs are working incredibly closely together and working really closely with the AFL.
And you've had some good news today, of course. The AFL has secured that credit, the $600 million loan from the bank, Xavier. But what about the supporters and the members? Your members received a missive last week or late the week before saying that their instalments would continue to come out of their bank account for the time being. At what point do you give the members their money back?
Yeah, it's a challenging one. Obviously, that's one aspect that's incredibly unique about this season is that clearly there's been pushed back, reduced length, but we still remain really optimistic that we'll still get a full season in, including finals. So that's what we sort of need. The AFL's been able to give us a longer runway to execute a full season. And clearly the challenge that we've got right now is a line of sight and that's not entirely clear. So we really need that sort of 6 to 8 week period coming up to truly understand that. And that's when we've been in a better position as clubs to be able to make decisions around that.
But it is clear on the game's economics, everyone has shared the pain. The players have taken pay cuts. The administrators have taken pay cuts. I'd assume the CEOs of clubs have taken pay cuts as part of this. Surely the fan, who, if they're at the centre of the game, mustn't be forced to pay full freight in the next month or two. Surely, until that's resolved, you can't justify charging the fans in the immediate future.
Yeah, I think that's what, I can't speak on behalf of other clubs, Hutchie, but, every club is going to work through that. We're going to work through that as Essendon. From our perspective, there are some unique elements, as I said. The season, it's challenging to truly understand what that looks like. We are very conscious and sympathetic to the individual circumstances of our members. Members have that right to suspend payments and things like that. And if their circumstances warrant that, we absolutely encourage them to. So,
have they done that, Xavier? Have you had many members?
Some have, absolutely. And we're entirely understanding of that, Caroline. And we've also had, on the week, just on Friday, I think we had over 20 members sign up. So clubs are, our membership is our lifeblood. I've seen that time and time again at the Essendon Football Club. I'm very, very conscious of that. Yeah,
and not to labour that, but just to get a bit clearer. So we would understand clearly that there'll be some members out there who can afford to do it and would see it as their right, want and privilege to support the club. But that's a big assumption. There would be a lot of fans out there, and the public are really suffering right now, who would take the refund if you offered it to them. I would think that you've got almost an obligation to put that to them for at least the next 2 months.
Yeah, well, as I said, the option there is to suspend memberships for the moment, but there's a hardship piece. So absolutely, every club is going to be sympathetic to that. And we are clearly very conscious of that, Craig.
Hey, Xavier, fans are one thing and then your staff are another. It's been a tough week, obviously, for footy managers yourself, letting staff go. I've seen some clubs have said to their staff, if you can find another job over this break, take it. Others in Carlton's situation have let go a lot of staff this week. What have you done at Essendon in regards to your assistant coaches and recruiting staff?
Yeah, that's one of the most challenging aspects of a time like this is the hard decisions that have to be made around staff, given the particular circumstances that clubs are finding themselves in. We're no different. And from the administration side of the business, we stood down around 80% of our staff last week in terms of our football staff. We've unfortunately, with the visibility around the significant reduction in the football department spend for next year, we had to make even harder decisions, and that's included some redundancies. It's included standing down about 80% of the football department staff, and it's heartbreaking when you have to make those decisions. They're hard decisions, but unfortunately, given where we're at and the challenges that we've got and the complexity of those challenges, they're decisions that we've had to make.
So John Worsfold's gone home and is with his family, isolating. Is there a chance that you would pull the pin on that agreement now, and if you did come back and play this year, that Ben Rutten would be the senior coach in a cost-saving measure?
No, there's no chance of that. That's a priority for us is the handover period. We've got a plan in place and we intend to stick to that plan. And having seen the way that Ben and John have been working together, I feel really comfortable with what's been happening there. And it's imperative for us that they still spend further time together to ensure an appropriate handover.
And sorry to labour the assistant coaches, but Blake Carosella did come over on a big contract for an assistant coach. Is he been suspended wage-wise at the moment, or is he working on a margin?
No, Blake's like all of the assistant coaches, he's been stood down. And that's unfortunately the decision we've had to make for the vast majority. In terms of the coaches, Ben and John continue to work on reduced hours. And obviously our performance staff, welfare and development staff continue to work as well.
And also next season we're going to see a different kind of season. We're already casting our minds to what it looks like. Are you in favour of things like smaller lists? Do you think the salary cap needs to come down? Do you think the collective bargaining agreement needs to be renegotiated? Are they things that you think will fall out of this piece of financial work that you're doing?
Yeah, I think they all have to be considered clearly, and there will be change. I think that's just inevitable when you're going through such a significant challenge like we are now. And even, we think we have some sort of a handle on it right now, and clearly the league has been working really hard to get obviously access to financial facilities and things like that, but we still don't really have a full grasp on the challenge. And we probably won't for the next 6 to 8 weeks. We were talking before from a membership perspective, and as challenging as that is, it's a reality we have to face, and those periods of uncertainty are the most challenging. But I think everything's on the table. I know Gil spoke on the weekend about a range of different changes that are being considered, but we won't truly know until we get to later in the year how quickly we get back to playing football, what the length of the season looks like, all those sorts of things. But I'd imagine they are going to be strongly considered. List sizes, cap sizes, all of that will be on the table.
Hey Xavier, can you give me a figure on what not even having fans there to the Fremantle game in round one, and what you expect to lose across the board as an individual club this season?
Yeah, I'm not sure I want to talk specifics about financial figures. There's so many people are struggling at the moment, but it's significant. And it's significant for every club. And that's just the reality of where we sit at the moment. We're incredibly fortunate to have such a strong member base, such a strong corporate partner base. But there's no doubt that it's going to be a significant financial hit to our football club and to the league more generally. And that's why we have had to make some really hard calls in the last week, and we'll probably have to make further hard calls coming up. And as we get a better grasp on the size of the challenge and the landscape moving forward, there will be probably further hard calls. And it's going to be difficult to know if we move too far, but it certainly will be pretty clear and apparent if we haven't moved enough, and the recovery will take a hell of a lot longer.
Xavier, we wish you luck with the toughest job in football that's ahead of you in running that finance committee.
Thanks very much, guys. Thanks for having me.
Xavier Campbell joining us of the Bombers.